situation analysis and its examples. Right. Let's see some of the social and political factors, how these factors can impact upon the overall success or failure of a language program. Okay. And I think it's important to understand these factors in the light of some key examples. And for your reference, these examples have been taken from Richard's book, Curriculum Development in Language Teaching. Okay. For example, and I think it's this very decent example, Richard says like there was a sort of scenario, and the site was an EFL country where English was treated as a foreign language. Okay. The language planners were given a task to design a course for a specific group of learners, and the designers actually interviewed the officials, I mean the administration of that particular area, and they also talked to the teachers, and they also looked at some of the variables attached to the learners. Okay. And what they designed, right, they thought that the learners needed oral-based language course, and for that matter, they needed audiolingualism as a methodology to teach the oral-based activities. Okay. And so the curriculum was designed, and when it came to the implementation phase, what happened? The teachers were found to be reluctant with the use of audiolingualism because they were more inclined towards the use of the traditional methods, and they found it difficult to teach oral-based fluency activities with the help of audiolingualism. What was the limitation then? The limitation was, for example, the teachers were not taken adequately into account while designing this specific course. So, in other words, the planners might have to understand what are the needs of the teachers, whether they are adequately trained or not. So this is the example. I think this is quite sufficient to understand how some of the social constraints, some of the political or economic constraints can impact upon the overall design of a language course, right? And there is another example, and I think it's also important to understand how this example actually highlights the significance of social and political factors. Well, a university wants to compete in the market, and the university makes a huge investment by introducing books which are not used by other universities, right? So by this way, they want to, for example, they want to compete and excel as compared to other universities. But what happened actually, the university eventually found that the other university was also using the same technique of using their own local books. So, I mean, that's the constraint in terms of understanding situation analysis. That's the social and political factors. Before investing in this project, the university might have to understand whether this step was successful or not. Okay, so that's overall. That's been, I think, that's been very precisely described by Clark, how some of the social, political, and economic factors are interlinked. Okay, let's have a look. Language curriculum design is a function of the interrelationships that hold between subject-specific concerns and other broader factors, embracing socio-political and philosophical matters and educational values and theory and practice. So what this quote here underlies is that it needs to, the situation analysis needs to I mean, take into account some broader factors, some socio-political factors, factor in reference to the example quoted earlier, right? And what theory says about a specific issue, and what research actually practitioner, how they take specific issue into account. So this is how some political and social factors can impact upon the language curriculum design.